Hey, awesome people of YouTube, welcome to a first tier list video for Baldur's Gate 3. I'll be ranking all of the races as you can see, from S tier to D tier. Mind you, just because they're D tier doesn't mean they're necessarily bad. No, you can play any race that you want. The races that are S tier are if you're trying to min-max, you know? But if you're playing Balanced or Explore, you can play as any race. Even Tactician, with a decent build, you can get away with any race. But for Honor Mode, you want to try to min-max. That's where S tier races come in. But before we get started, I just want to say thank you everybody who's been watching. It means a lot. And if you can leave likes, comments, subscribing, and even sharing the videos, that will help a lot. Also, if you do dislike it, let me know what you dislike so I can improve my videos. And I do have my own Discord, link is in the description. You can see when I go live and when I post stuff, and you will be able to maybe help me make a new video. But with that said, let's get started. The first race we're gonna do is human. I'm gonna put it at about probably B tier. The reason why it is not bad, you know, the features that it has, it is human versatility. It gets increased carry capacity by 25%. It has standard movement of 9 meters or 30 feet. And it gets proficiencies of spears, spikes, halberds, and glaives. Also gets light armor and shield armor. And you get an extra 1 skill of choice, right? That's where I think it is, right? Now, actually, yeah, we'll do A tier for them, A tier. Because they're more general, they're not bad, they're not like super OP, but they're still pretty good. Now, let's talk about the next one, and that is, the elf. I think the elf is S tier. Remember, we're not talking about sub races, but we're just talking about race. Elf is the good one, because even if you're a high elf or wood elf, you get Fey Ancestry, which gives you advantage against being charmed. It also gives you immunity to sleep, and you get nice dark vision. Right? You also get efficiencies of short sword, long sword, short bows, long bows, and you get a perception, increased perception skill. For high elf, you have a 9 meter movement speed, and you get 1 extra cantrip from the choice of the wizard spell list. If you're wood elf, you get 10.5 meters movement speed or 35 feet, and you get increased movement. Oh, that increases your movement speed by 1.5 meters or 5 feet. That's why I think they're pretty good, right? Now, let's talk about Drow, right? And I think Drows are, I would say they're A tier, probably above human. Either it doesn't matter if you're a Loathsworn Drow or Sildarine Drow, but you both have 9 meters or 30 feet movement speed. You have weapon proficiencies in rapiers, short swords, and hand crossbows. You also have increased perception. You have Fey Ancestry, which gives you advantage against being charmed. And sleep. You also have dark vision, and you have dancing lights, fairy, fire, and darkness spells at level 1, 3, and 5. You know. Honestly, with all that, let's put them in S tier, right? Just because of all those huge buffs, you know. And they also allow you to pretty much bypass certain evil speech checks, you know, so you don't have to do them. You just walk right in because you're a Drow. Now, let's talk about the next one. It is a high elf, and I think they're also... wrong one. Also S tier. And that is because you have 3 sub-races: high elf, wood elf, Drow elf. High elf and Drow half elf have 9 meters or 30 feet movement. For wood half elf, you have 10.5 meters or 35 feet. You have armor proficiency for light and shields. You also have a weapon proficiency for spears, spikes, halberds, and glaives. For high half elf, you have one cantrip from the wizard spell list, just like how full elf would have. A drow has same thing as the drow: dancing light, fairy fire, and darkness spells at level 1, 3, and 5. And would half elf have increased movement speed by 1.5 meters or 5 feet. And all half elves have fair ancestry, advantage against being charmed, immune to magicals, or immune to sleep, and dark vision. Right? They're pretty good for a lot of builds. Now let's talk about Half-Orc. Half-Orc, I think they are probably A tier, right? They're even better in honor mode because of their relentless endurance, which is when you drop to 0 HP instead, you drop to 1 HP, and it can only happen one per rest. You also have dark vision of 12 meters, pretty good. And you have savage attacks. Add 1 additional dice of damage when scoring a critical hit with melee. You have regular movement speed of 9 meters, so 30 feet. And your main skill is intimidation, menacing. Right? They're pretty good. Now let's talk about halflings. Halflings, in my opinion, are a bit of B tier. Both Lightfoot Halfling and Strongheart Halfling have 7.5 meters movement speed or 25 feet, so a lot less than others. They obviously cannot jump as high, so it kind of limits you on that. But they have Halfling Luck, which allows you to reroll a 1 once, a single reroll on a 1 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. You also get Brave, which you get advantage against being frightened. And for Lightfoot Halflings, you have Natural Stealthy, which is advantage on stealth checks. And for Strongheart Halflings, you have Strongheart Resilience, advantage against being poisoned and resistant to poison damage. Not bad. That's why in their B tier, they're still pretty good. Right? Now let's talk about dwarfs. I'll put them also in B tier. Right? Actually, a little bit in S tier. Or C tier, sorry. So you have 3 different ones. You have Gold Dwarf, Shield Dwarf, and Drogar. Gold Dwarf get increased, or they get more HP per level by 1. Shield Dwarf gets extra proficiencies in light armor and medium armor. And Drogar gets Drogar Resilience, which is advantage on saving throws against illusion and being charmed or paralyzed. They have superior dark vision, which is dark vision of 24 meters, and they can use enlarge and invisibility spells at level 3 and 5. They have movement speed of 7.5 or 25 feet. They have weapons of battle axe, hand axe, slide hammers, and warhammers. There is pretty good build of Drogar or Dwarf thrower, but besides that, they're not as bad, but I think of them mainly as melee. That's why I put them on C tier. They're still pretty good, but not as good as the other ones. Now let's talk about the next ones. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll keep them at C tier. Let's talk about gnomes. So gnomes, I would also put in C tier. Actually, we'll put dwarves in B tier, like lower B tier, like B minus, C plus type of stuff. So for gnomes, we have forest gnome, deep gnome, and rock gnome. So all 3 of those subraces have 7.5 meters or 25 feet movement speed. Forest gnome have ability to speak with animals at will. Deep gnomes have superior dark vision, which is 24 meters. They also have stone camouflage, which gives them advantage on stealth checks. And rock gnomes have history proficiency. All of the gnomes have gnome cunning, which is advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, and they have regular dark vision. They're not as good as the dwarves or halflings, but they're still okay. Now let's talk about tieflings. I think tieflings are also probably on the lower side of A tier. There's 3 ones. There's Asmodeus Tiefling, Mephistopheles Tieflings, and Zerial Tieflings. All of them have 9 meters or 30 feet movement speed. They have Hellish Resistance, which is resistance to fire damage, and they have Dark Vision, which is pretty good. For Asmodeus Tieflings, they have Produce Flame and Hellish Rebuke, and Darkness spells at level 1, 3, and 5. For Mephistopheles, they have Mage Hand, Burning Hands, and Flame Blade spells at level 1, 3, and 5. And for Zerials, they have Thaumaturgy, Searing Smite, and Branding Smite at level 1, 3, and 5. So they're pretty good, but they're not as good as like the other ones, you know? Actually, you know what? For HO, probably do something like this. There we go. Now let's talk about Githyanki. I think Githyanki is definitely also S tier. The Githyanki have 9 meters or 30 feet movement. They have proficiencies in short swords, long swords, great swords, and they have proficiencies in light armor and medium armor. They also have astral knowledge. They gain proficiency in all skills corresponding to a chosen ability each long rest. At the last full long rest, so you can pick proficiencies in dexterity or charisma, you know, or wisdom, whatever you want, and you will have it increase proficiency for a full duration of the long rest. They also have Githyanki Psionics. They get Mage Hand, Enhanced Sleep, and Misty Step spells at level 1, 3, and 5, which are pretty good, especially Enhanced Sleep. Allows you to jump further. And Misty Steps, get free Misty Steps. It is once per long rest, but it's pretty nice. Now, let's talk about probably my least favorite race. It looks awesome, and I wish it was better, but it is Dragonborn. So there are multiple Dragonborn races. There's Black Dragonborn, Blue Dragonborn, Brass Dragonborn, Bronze, Copper, Gold, Green, Red, Silver, and White Dragonborn. Each one has different proficiencies. They could be Draconic Ancestor of Fire, Acid, Lightning, Cold, Poison, you know, stuff like that. What it does, it gives them resistance to it, and they can use a frost or fire or acid or poison breath, you know, an area of 5 meters or 17 feet, and it's a cone. It's not bad, but it doesn't do much damage, and they don't get any other proficiencies compared to other races, which is why I think they're definitely a D tier race. They do have a 9 meter or 30 feet standard movement, but they're definitely not the greatest. They look cool, but they're definitely pretty bad. So Dragonborn D tier. Gnomes are C. Halflings and Dwarfs are B. Half-Orcs, Humans, and Tieflings are A tier. Elves, Drows, Half-Elves, and Githyanki are S tier. Right? That is my tier list. Do let me know down in the comments what is your tier list, what you guys think about it, where would you rank different races. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.